You guys, it's Ashley, and I am bringing you a video today that is jam-packed with information and hopefully going to answer a lot of the questions that you have if you are new to starting a business. So let's say you have a really great idea, or you have a really nice service or a really great product that you want to share with the public. But after that, you're not really sure what direction to go. Maybe you've never started a business before and you're not sure what would be a next step because there's so many steps in this process. So today's video is all about what are 3 main steps that I would suggest to any new entrepreneur on the block, and things that are a nice process of elimination to make sure that things are getting done and getting done correctly. Now, today's video is sponsored by Tailor Brands, and I've never done a sponsored video before, but I'm really excited about this one because I did a little research behind the scenes. You're welcome. I was able to look into what services they offer for people like me who start businesses, and I was actually blown away. Their prices start at $3.99 a month, and I was pretty much blown away just by that from the get-go. But beyond that, they offer services like trademarking, forming an LLC, creating a logo, making business cards. Literally the list was endless. Today I'm going to go in specifically on how to build a logo with them. But before we get into even all of that, I want to break down the 3 things that you're going to get from this video today to make sure that it's right for you. So if you came to this channel, my name is Ashley. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I create businesses, I launch businesses, and thankfully, to date, I keep the businesses going. What I'm sharing with you guys today is my background with business and marketing and some things that I wish had just been clear-cut, brought as daylight, brought to my attention on what would be an obvious next step once I have this idea, product, or service that I'm ready to just share with the general public. First thing that we're going to talk about today is the main step that I would really suggest is locking in what your business name is, what your business means, what your mission is, and all of those kind of headlining factors that you want people to know and experience on that first impression with your brand. If you don't have a business name yet, I always see this a lot of times on different forums and things like that where people are like, help me name my business. And on one hand, it kind of makes me cringe because I'm like, oh man, that's a really a lot of pressure and a lot of weight to just give to a stranger. But on the other hand, I understand how paralyzing it can be to come up with a business name. Here's the thing. I always try and suggest to people, really find something that's near and dear to your heart. Maybe it's a keyword, maybe it's an emotion, maybe it's something that is deep down meaningful to you and maybe has no meaning to anybody else. But that's where your brand story is really going to come in and pick up the weight of what does this name really mean to me? For instance, my yoga business is named Yoga Zoe, and it's named Yoga Zoe, and some people might see that and be like, that's really weird. I mean, I get that the yoga part of it, but what is the Zoe part of it? Also, I have a lot of people that completely just mispronounce it entirely, but that's another story. My name came to life because I had a dog named Zoe that was literally the heartbeat of my life for a period of time, and I still tear up every time I talk about her, which I'm not going to do for the sake of this video because that'd get really awkward. But my point being is that Zoe was such a predominant force in my life when I was going through my yoga teacher training and starting to play with the idea of am I going to make this a business? And my friend actually was like, well, why don't you name it Yoga Zoe? Because then it plays this respect to the piece that yoga was in my life and then that Zoe was in my life. And because it's really cool to say that she was my favorite down dog. Yoga Zoe came to life and it took on this story of its own, which was really great because now that we've been around for 6 to 7 years, it's really cool for somebody who's brand new to Yoga Zoe to be like, what does the name mean? And I get to tell them how truly pivotal Zoe was in my life and in bringing Yoga Zoe to life. Now you might be immediately stressed out because you're like, Ashley, I don't have this romantic story, or I'm not having any keywords that come to life. And the best thing that I can do is tell you to sleep on it. It's not something that comes on overnight. It's not something that you actually need to get a lot of opinions about because that might deter you or deflect you away into something else that doesn't feel as natural and organic to you. But what I like to do is use the Notes app on my iPhone, and all I do is I just start to put down different words and have a running tally of different things that evoke excitement for me, or descriptor words, or things that I just like keep coming back to. And that's a really good place to start. Let's say that you do have an idea of what you want it to be called. The next steps that I would suggest are to go and look to see if there's a domain name available for that, which you can do on Tailor Brands. I would also look to see what kind of handles or social media handles are available. See if there's anything close, see if there's anything that might be a little confusing, especially if your business is going to grow, because it's going to grow. And I would definitely look on your state and federal websites to do massive searches to make sure that you're not duplicating what's already out there in the world. So I'm not going to go too much more into detail with that, but that's definitely one of the foundational points that you want to make sure that you have, because it's really going to affect where things start to evolve from there. What is your name? What is your mission? What are your hopes and dreams in regards to people's first impressions that you have with your brand? With that comes making a logo. And this is where things get pretty exciting. This is something that I thoroughly enjoyed doing for my businesses, and it's really giving your brand that identity. It's kind of like, what outfit are you going to put on your brand? And a really key point of this is that you don't want to bring into life a logo or something that you would potentially be sick of looking at in 5 years. That's a really good rule of thumb that I let everybody that I work with know. Yes, you might love it right now, but I want you to think about 5, 10, 15 years from now. If you're still looking at this logo, is there at all any potential that you might just be sick of looking at it? Or are you really proud of it? And that's something that we really want to evoke. And here's where I'm going to show you where Tailor Brands can really shine and help you with your business. So something to know that I'm going to be working on today is I actually run an Airbnb here in town. And when I first started the Airbnb, I had the best of intentions to make a logo for it and really have this website and functioning identity for this brand of my Airbnb to take a life on of its own so that eventually I could house my own bookings. Long story short, I haven't gotten to that point and some time has passed, but this was the perfect opportunity for me to walk you guys through how to create a logo and show you just how easy it is to do it with Tailor Brands. So let's go ahead and hop over to my computer and I'll show you a little bit more. And we're going to create a logo today for the Urban Farmhouse. By the way, if you're in Albuquerque, you should check it out. It's hosted on Airbnb and we would love to host you. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and jump right in. So I opened up the Tailor Brands link. I have one below that includes a coupon code for you guys if you decide to go this direction. But you'll see up here on the top tabs that you're able to form an LLC, look at the different offerings that they have, like website, email provider, things like that. But today, for the specific purposes of this video, I'm going to talk about the logo maker. And so we're going to go right up here. And I'm going to enter a logo name. So I would like to make a logo for the Urban Farmhouse. And if you want to add a tagline here, you can. So maybe it'd be something kitschy. I wish I had that. I think Urban Farmhouse is kitschy enough though. So let's go ahead and design. What it's going to do is, how did you discover? Obviously, you're going to say YouTube. You're going to tell them Ashley because you love me so much. Then what we're going to do is figure out what we are offering. Today I'm offering leisure and hospitality. For my industry as hospitality, if you're not quite sure, you can play around. There's a drop down that gives you a bunch of different entities that you might be filling. Here we go. So here's something that's really interesting that I like about Tailor Brands is that you can really find your niche. Icon based, obviously easy to remember. This is going to be things like if you have Apple iPhone, then you know that the iconic Apple figure is usually on all of their products. So that's a really nice connection to that. The other thing here is just name based. So if I just wanted Urban Farmhouse figured out in some sort of compilation for a logo or initial base. So maybe you have a really strong, powerful word that is part of your brand. That might be a way to go. I'm going to go icon based. And then I love geometric shapes. So I'm going to do that. Ooh, circle, obviously. It's in everything I do. I like this, and I like this. Of course, you can always change to go back. Always, more than anything, I like trendy and I like bolder and thin. I like pretty simple things with all of my logos. The anticipation. Something that's really cool about Tailor Brands is that it really is a one-stop shop for everything that you might need, start to finish, getting things going. I have my account already set up with these guys, so I'm going to go here. And now I can see all of the different types of logos that they have created for my new business. And at any point in time, if I wanted to go back, I absolutely could to restart what I've already input to see what I would like. Honestly, I just want to go back entirely and show you guys a different route that I can go with this. So if I just keep going back, maybe I want to search for an icon instead of a geometric shape and type in the words travel. And then I'm going to see what resonates with me in regards to people traveling here. And as you can see here, you can do a bunch of different searches. Oh my goodness. Look at all these different options. You guys, I can honestly tell you that if you're starting from scratch and you're feeling overwhelmed, the nice thing about this is it allows for those of us that maybe aren't so design inclined, if you will, to have an idea in our brain and allow it to come forth over the screen through digital personification of your brand. This is something that I would highly recommend to anybody who maybe doesn't feel like they have the wherewithal to launch their business. They know they have a really good idea, but they're needing the things to come to life in regards to their brand identity. And this would be a really great way for you guys to be able to do that in the interim. I personally really love this one. I think it emulates exactly what I would want for my brand. I think as regards to the style and everything, I would play around with the color over here. I really like the idea of greens and blues in my logo simply because we really try and be eco-friendly. We want people to be like energy saving whenever they're in the home. And this is something that I really like. Give it a little dimension here if I like. I actually like the monochrome because I'm basic B. I'm gonna look at the layout over here. Maybe I want to switch it up a little bit. I actually really like this. Oh my goodness, so many options, so many possibilities. And then I can save it here. And it's going to walk you through registering your business. If you want to make digital business cards, if you want to make a website here, if you already have your domain, you can connect it. This is really, really, truly a nice way for a good starting point for your business. A couple more points that I want to share with you guys in regards to this brand identity, this brand look that we really want our business to evoke to the public. I like to think of a brand identity as kind of like a mood board, but a mood board that would be public facing. So it's going to evoke the different colors that we want attached to our brand, the different fonts that we want attached to our brand. Obviously, it's going to have the logo involved with it, but it's basically this identity that your brand starts taking so that when you do start making different marketing materials or a website or all these other pieces of building out your brand, then you're kind of going to know where this guide is of like, okay, these are the colors that I definitely want to incorporate. These are the fonts that I want to use. And then if you end up getting to a point where maybe you hire a marketing professional, it's really nice to hand over that brand lookbook and say, hey, this is the keys to the kingdom, you guys. This is everything that our brand evokes, and this allows us to stay consistent on our branding and our messaging. Now let's roll on into point 3. What I wanted to share with you guys today about point 3 is really more of the formality side of building a business and building a brand. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that a lot of the things that are kind of on a to-do list that we probably aren't as fun and sexy as building a brand and a logo, but are things that are necessary to have done. For instance, we want to register our business with the state and federally if you're looking at going outside of territory lines. We also want to look at making sure that we're formalizing all the things that are safety precautions within our brand, our service, our product, anything like that in regards to business insurance. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the weeds on that because I'm not an insurance professional, but for me as a candle maker, it's really important that I have my product liability insurance because at the end of the day, I'm selling candles that are being lit on fire in people's houses. And so if you just kind of do the math on that, I want to make sure that I have a nice business policy that is covering my insurance and the products that I'm selling to you guys. That also comes down to things like organizing how we're going to keep track of all of our record keeping in regards to expenses, especially if you're a product-based business. But we want to make sure that we're formally aligning everything that we need so that we are recognized as an operating business in our city, state, and federally, again, if you're working outside of state lines. Those are 3 things that I know they're pretty broad in a nutshell, but I just wanted to give you guys a nice roundup of 3 things. finding your name, finding your identity, and making sure that you're formalizing everything with your business. And again, a really great way to do all of this is through Tailor Brands. It's allowing you to build your business from the ground up without any design experience and allowing you to go along with the steps that you need as you need them. And it's a great resource and one of the only ones I found out there that is a true out-of-the-box a la carte solution that I highly recommend to you guys. And the best part of it is that I am giving you guys 40% off just by watching this video and checking out the link below. Yes, you guys, it's even cheaper than what I said. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure that you leave them in the comments below. I do my best to get back to each and every one of you. If I don't know the answer, I'll humbly tell you, but if I do, I'll be glad to weigh in. As always, guys, if you're interested in a 30 for 30, it's $30 for 30 minutes. What that allows you to do is you connect with me over Zoom. We go through any burning questions that you guys have, business and marketing related. Whether you're a candle maker or not, it really doesn't matter, but it allows you to have some one-on-one time with somebody who is in the trenches with you, and I'll answer any questions that I have the answers to. I offer any advice that I have, maybe from learning experiences that I've already witnessed to save you some strife. And the whole idea is to reduce overwhelm, remove some roadblocks, and get you on your way so that you can be as successful as you possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. If there's ever a topic you want to be covered on this channel, please let me know. Otherwise, you can find me in the contact information below in the description. And I really hope that you just have a wonderful day. If you haven't yet subscribed, you know what to do. Thanks, guys.